there will be less trans representation in media starting 2026. I actually got this information from a Christian website. It's christianpost.com. It says the number of trans-identified characters on TV is on the rise, even as many of the shows on which they appear won't return next season, according to a report from an LGBT media watchdog. The Gay and Lesbian Alliance Against Defamation 2025 Where Are We on TV study, that's the name of the study, found that while the number of trans-identified characters increased slightly from last year, only 4 such characters appear on series that have been officially renewed for another season. This could open the door for a potential huge decrease in transgender representation in the next year. The GLAAD president and CEO, Sarah Kate Ellis, said the organization is actively lobbying decision makers in the entertainment industry to keep including LGBT identified characters, even as disinformation and anti-trans rhetoric reaches new highs in our politics and culture. She said, in this moment when diverse stories are under heightened scrutiny, GLAAD is partnering with entertainment industry leaders to meet a clear call. Do not cave to pressure to reduce LGBT representation, she said in a statement. Freedom of speech includes freedom of storytelling, and that includes stories of our community. So let's talk about this. Why is representation important? Well, it's because trans and non-binary, although a small portion of the population, it's estimated at 0.6 to 1% of the population, we are still a legitimate, valid part of the population. And currently we're seeing a little more trans representation in government, which is especially important right now in the anti-trans political climate that we're in. And in this anti-trans political climate, there's a lot of disinformation coming from Republicans surrounding gay and trans people. The last decade is probably where we saw the most trans representation in media, but with the anti-trans legislation and violence and bullying towards trans people due to the disinformation from Republicans, it has a domino effect on the trans community. So producers and filmmakers are getting pressured to comply with the companies toning down for political reasons. So in other words, they're hiding the truth and reality of the world that we actually live in. Missing representation further oppresses trans and gay people. And not only that, it legitimizes the irrational decisions of Republicans to dehumanize, bully, and alienate trans people from public life. All of this stuff encourages violence towards innocent transgender people, which is why we see trans people assaulted, bullied, and murdered at such high rates. All while the current administration is actively trying to erase LGBTQ plus identities and cut life-saving funding to HIV services. So this year, the Trump administration implemented significant cuts and freezes to domestic and global HIV/AIDS funding, eliminating CDC prevention grants, halting all research, dismantling the USAID, leading to widespread concern about reversing decades of progress. Key actions include freezing PEPFAR funds, ending CDC HIV prevention funding, terminating research grants, and dissolving USAID, causing major disruption. So representation in media is important because it highlights issues exactly like this on TV. So I want to say good luck to GLAAD in their fight for more representation of LGBT people in media. Thank you guys for listening. Please like this, share it, leave your comments, and I'll be back soon. Bye.